So plantar fasciitis is a common thing that we actually help people with in the clinic here, associated with heel pain. This is our little foot model right here. The pain is typically felt along the rim here or very base of the heel bone right here, okay? And why is that significant? The plantar fascia essentially is this dense tissue. You think about the foot here as it's resting here. We have a little bit of an arch, okay, in this area. The plantar fascia actually extends like almost like a wire, okay, from the heel, if you see my finger, extend all the way over and prevents that arch from dropping down, okay, or not excessively. It's almost like I'll call it a transom, if you know that term, between here and provides static stability, meaning it's not a muscle, but it's this dense tissue that extends from from the heel here, the medial calcaneal tubercle, which is a little spot on the heel here, and then extends down and kind of fans out like this to the ball of your foot. Okay, so it kind of goes in this kind of framework like that. So it does that as we make contact with the ground. Our foot is they call supinated, where it's got an arch, and then it goes into pronation, where it's actually flattening out. Okay, and that structure goes on tension. And over time, we can develop some heel pain in there. They think it's more degenerative, like it's a lack of blood flow in this area. And there's certain things that we do just to lessen that pressure and kind of break that pain cycle in that region right there. Sometimes you have people that'll feel like they'll say it extends all the way down to the base of our foot. The goal of this video is just to point out something that most people will have not done, a lot, is they haven't done a lot of strengthening. A lot of times we're trying to stretch the toe, the great toe like this, and create some flexibility through the foot. We're also working on stretching the calves, doing some of those things, but what we haven't really incorporated is strengthening, is having strength in that area, whether it be the small muscles that make up the arch, so the small muscles that cross this area, or some of the musculature that crosses the ankle and such. So we want to work on two of those areas. And so if you're having trouble with this plantar fasciitis, it's just not getting better, you've been stretching the bejesus out of it, you can't seem to make a difference, there may be something more you can do, and that would be the addition of some strengthening. So we're going to show you just 3 basic exercises you can start at home, nothing too complicated. It should take you about 15 minutes. If you're still doing the stretching, you can continue with the flexibility. We're not saying that's not important. What we want to also consider is that we probably want to strengthen too. That's one of the big mantras around here with injuries, is a lot of times we stretch, and we don't add the strengthening, okay? And sometimes that's really what we need to kind of get to that next level. So if you're kind of stagnating with plantar fasciitis and not improving, you may want to do this. Listen, this is a condition that typically gets better non-surgically. There are people that need surgery, injections, or other things, but a lot of people get better after about a year of this particular problem. But if we can accelerate it by working on some strengthening and just not have just take the natural course, why do we do that? We accelerate that so you get back to what you want to do. So I would start with just some 3 basic exercises. So the first one is a simple heel raise, all right? You can do it off the floor, like this. Stand, both feet initially, and see what the tenderness is, how it feels when you're doing it. We're going to have you come up, pause, and then slowly back down. You can do 2 or 3 sets of 10 every other day, or sometimes daily, depending on the sensitivity of the tissues. I have some people that are really sensitive in the plantar fascia, in that heel area, and they say, Tom, I can't do the strengthening every day. I have to do it every 3rd day. Depends on the person, especially when you're doing the weight-bearing version of this. If you have the advantage, if you're at the gym and you can do something where you're doing on a machine or a cable column where you can do partial body weight. So this is full body weight. You can do partial body weight. That's another alternative to kind of address the plantar fascia and strengthening part of this. But this is a basic heel raise. It's really working on the whole gastroc soleus or calf complex, all right? What we really want to do is we want to get to the point where we eventually do a full heel raise. I'm just using this as a balance point, but we want to get to the ball of the foot is on there, knees reasonably straight, come down and all the way up, because we want to get that full range of motion so our heel is below the level of the step, okay? Just to get that full range of motion and all the way down. If we do it just off the floor, we only work on part of the range of motion that we use when we walk, all right? So when we're walking, when we step forward and we come forward like this. That's similar to the position that you feel when you're off the step. So that's why we want to work in that new range of motion. and really go through that full range. Sometimes like I said, you can't jump into that right away, and sometimes you have to do a less tension or less load by doing a machine at the gym or even a banded exercise, which will put less tension through that heel. It depends on the sensitivity of the individual, and if you truly have a plantar fascia. And that's our tip at the end, which we'll include. So our other exercise right here that we're going to do. We're going to work on some of the muscles. So we work in the Achilles calf complex here. Now we're going to work on some of the muscles they call inverters. They help turn the foot in, and they also contribute to actually contributing to that arch. So you can see I've got a little arch here. These muscles dynamically contribute to holding that arch up. So we're going to work on that particular strengthening. So what we're going to do is, this is a band. This is one of our higher gauge bands. We're going to basically be strengthening, the inside of this foot here. We're going to put it, and we're going to double up the band, and we're going to bring our other foot across, and we're essentially going to turn. This foot is the one that we're strengthening. We're going to be turning in like that, and then back out. So all the way in, and back out, all the way in. And we should feel more tension through here and right for the inside, more the inside of the calf complex, and is one of the muscle groups that contributes to that motion. So that's the second exercise, and that's working on the inverters of the ankle. Okay, and that's supposed to help strengthen those muscles that help support the arch, and that's supposed to offset some pressure on the plantar fascia. Okay. Last thing we're going to do is a very basic exercise. It works on the toe flexors. The flexor tendons contribute to flexion of the foot and also help support this area around the fascia. So we have this tissue that's the plantar fascia that acts like a wire rope. It doesn't contract like a spring. This one is just a rope. It doesn't shorten or lengthen. Now the next thing is the flexors basically, and this is one of many. I mean, you can do this. Go on YouTube, you'll find a ton of these. So you're going to take a simple towel. A lot of times I won't do it for right now, but we're going to kind of we'll put this in water just to kind of get it a little bit pliable, a little bit warm. We'll place it on a wedge here, or you can do it off like a hard floor or linoleum floor. And you're essentially going to put your heel down, and you're going to try and curl this all the way down. So you're kind of flexing your toes and bringing it underneath. And you can see, like, as I'm doing this, I'll do it on this side. As you come in, you actually create a little bit of that arch in that area. Okay, so you're going to go all the way to the point where you bring it all the way down to the floor. No one likes this exercise, but it's one of three you're going to do, and hopefully you're only going to do it that long. So once you get done, the towel is all the way down. You're simply going to bring it up to the top. If this is really easy and say, wow, this isn't a problem at all, you can even take a light weight. This is a little ankle weight. Place it at the top, and just work on it with a little bit more tension. In this position, gravity is helping a little bit because we're sliding down, but it still adds a little bit of tension. So the first two, we can do 2 or 3 sets of 10. This one, the banded exercise, which for the ankle inverters, and then the other one, the standing heel raise, 2 or 3 sets of 10. This one I'll tell people, go through the whole thing. So you've pulled the whole towel down. You can even inch the heel up like that. And that's considered 1 repetition. Let's do 10 like that. You should feel like those flexor tendons, the toes. Sometimes people can barely move their toes. They didn't even realize it. They have no control. And that's a good and bad sign. It actually tells us it's something we want to work on. So if this video helped you out, please like or share. Place a comment if you have anything that we've talked about, that you have a question about. But consider strengthening for helping your plantar fasciitis. Continue with your flexibility, and also consider that sometimes plantar fasciitis is coming from somewhere else. Sometimes it's coming from your lower back or other structures. So also, if you're having trouble, you've tried the flexibility, you've tried the strengthening, you may want to get a little consult from a therapist and just to kind of make sure we're treating the right area. Okay? Hope this helps you out. Have a great day.